This evening, the National Assembly approves $3 billion to further enhance and improve indigenous people's lives. Opposition leader accused PPPC of ignoring international advice on election reform. Mother of three murdered by sisters in Sophia. In the region, who is next? Fear spreads in U.S. Muslim community amid killings. And internationally, Taiwan stages live fire defense drills amid China tensions. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. On Monday, the National Assembly approved the allocation of $3 billion to further enhance and improve the lives and livelihood of the indigenous peoples in the hinterland and remote communities. During the most recent National Tushaus Conference, President Irfan Ali pledged this supplementary fund to Amerindian leaders. On July 13th, the president met with the leaders and urged them to pinpoint key problems and develop action plans to enhance their quality of life. Ministers of government were tasked with assisting the hinterland and riverine communities in streamlining their plans for development in their communities. President Ali has established a monitoring and evaluating team that is responsible for ensuring that hinterland projects are properly executed, while at the same time making sure that government services are accessible. Of the $3 billion, $250 million will be invested in programs and initiatives to support youth empowerment. Defending the sum, Amerindian Affairs Minister Pauline Sukai explained that a master plan to bring more development opportunities to the Amerindian communities was derived from the National Tushaus Council meeting, which the massive allocation will greatly complement. According to her, every hinterland community will benefit as the government will ensure the money is equitably distributed. She added that the money would be expended on several prioritized issues, including agriculture and food security, women's affairs, youth and children, facilities, services, infrastructure, and ecotourism. The PPP is the sole entity objecting to a clean voters list. Those were the words of opposition leader Aubrey Norton as he today addressed the office of the leader of the opposition press conference. The voters list is bloated, according to the opposition, who also claim that the names of those who shouldn't be on the list are included.
President Irfan Ali's statement that, and I quote, "the list is not the problem," unquote, is pure hypocrisy and isolates the PPP as the lone objector to the necessity for a clean voters list, while making it obvious that the PPP has no interest in democracy.
Norton said in October 2015, 5 months after PPP lost the 2015 elections, they called for a new voters list to be compiled based on a fresh house-to-house enumeration. However, in July 2019, when GCOM commenced house-to-house registration to create a new voters list, the PPP challenged the decision in court.
Evidently, the PPP has become comfortable with a voters list that contains as many as 200,000 names that ought to be legitimately removed because those persons are either dead or no longer resident in Guyana.
Norton further stated that following the 2020 general elections, CARICOM, the OAS, and other observer missions advised that efforts be made to generate a fresh list of electors.
What President Ali and his party are purposefully ignoring to tell the Guyanese people is that all the major election observers missions of our 2020 elections have called for a new voter registry and/or a total revision of Guyana's voters registration laws.
In light of the Ghana Elections Commission's indication of preparing to host local government elections, Norton has reiterated several repeated demands by the opposition.
One, for GCOM to undertake an operations review process. Two, for there to be timely and comprehensive electoral reform undertaken under a multi-stakeholder framework before any new elections. Three, for there to be house-to-house registration leading to a clean voters list. And four, for the resignation of the chairman of GCOM.
The opposition leader declared that if the current situation at GCOM continues, he will continue to engage the international community on the matter and mobilize support for any attempt to hold elections. Two sisters are being held by police after allegedly fatally stabbing a woman in Sophia. Esther Sobers has that tragic story.
Two sisters are in police custody for allegedly fatally stabbing a mother of three at Sophia, Georgetown on Monday, August 8, 2022. The dead woman, 22-year-old Vanessa Anderson of Beefy, Sophia, was stabbed in front of her Sophia home after she and one of her neighbors got involved in a heated argument and a fight ensued. Headline News visited the scene and spoke to the deceased sister, Alicia Anderson, who explained what transpired.
This problem really and truly, how I see it is next door by a furniture place. About this thing, the man place get broken. So the man bring me police over there because man said the camera pick up he over there. There's the man works in front of the police. I said, right? So as my sister said, we peeping over the veranda. And we peeping as my sister she pick up my sister. They are already watching the entrance that. After my sister, she mouth rich. So the data now like there's the only being I understand what cause any problem. That's when my sister come, my sister tell me my sister don't cook. I mean, if it's a drink or what, she go in the shop or buy her brother house away from me. She go in and get something, she and she big daughter. It's when she walk off and when she coming back in. She stop my sister, she back 2 times, she sister give her the knife, when she sister give her the baby, she give my sister to stab everybody.
The family members of the late Anderson are pleading for justice as they describe Anderson as peaceful, caring, and one who loved her children.
Here, your child father needs to live here. Your child father won't like you have a restraining order come this morning. Take out all she things so nobody in the home. Because I can't do.
Right.
He tell me last night he collect me trying to carry them over by grandmother and let them sleep and bring them back. He come and collect all them clothes, everything we don't know is. We sister down there and gone, we ain't want nothing, we want justice, and all we want is to treat her wrong. That's all I asking for help. For justice we need, we treat her wrong.
Anderson was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital with several stab wounds. She was officially pronounced dead on arrival. Her body is currently at a funeral home awaiting a post-mortem examinations. The sisters were taken to the police station where they are currently in police custody, assisting with investigations. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Stick around after the break. 2 men remanded for fatally stabbing a Mabaruma teen, and Venezuela national run over by a reversing truck.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. A 38-year-old father of one was fatally struck down by a truck on the Cerro Johanna Public Road, East Bank, Demerara on Monday, August 8th. The dead man has been identified as Venezuelan national Francisco Simusa of Cerro Johanna, East Bank, Demerara. Enquiries disclosed that Simusa was standing on the eastern parapet of the public road. A motor lorry driven by 32-year-old Shambe Yamat of Cerro Johanna village drove past Simusa. The truck stopped and reversed in a northern direction where the left side of the tray collided with Simusa. The man subsequently fell and the left rear wheel of the lorry ran over him. He was picked up and taken to the Diamond Diagnostic Center where he was officially pronounced dead by a doctor on duty. The body was escorted to the Carmen's funeral home awaiting a post-mortem examination. A breathalyzer test was conducted on the driver and revealed 0% alcohol in his system. However, he remains in custody assisting with further investigations. A man and a minor have been remanded to prison for the stabbing death of a Mabaruma teen. Esther Sobers has more details.
2 young men were remanded to prison for fatally stabbing Mabaruma teen Jude Cristiano when they appeared at the Mabaruma Magistrate Court on Monday, August 8, 2022. The men, 22-year-old Wayne De Silva of Hobo Hill Northwest District Region 1 and 16-year-old boy of Kamuka Waterfront Northwest District, appeared before Magistrate Sunil Scarce and were not required to plead to the indictable charge of murder. The court heard that on August 3, 2022, the teen was reportedly stabbed to death at the Komaka Waterfront following an altercation he had with the two suspects. It was believed that the incident stemmed from an alleged interruption of a conversation between one of the suspects and his girlfriend. One of the accused had reportedly told investigators that while he was chatting with his girlfriend at Komaka Waterfront, Cristiano came up to him, made some advances, and interrupted their conversation. A heated altercation broke out between the suspect and Cristiano. The men said he became irritated with Cristiano's behavior. The quarrel erupted fast and the second suspect joined in the argument, which ended fatally. The duo was remanded to prison. The matter was adjourned to August 18, 2022. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Bangladesh government orders media ban on the word indigenous, and Taiwan stages live fire defense drills amid China's tension.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets. outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton, and Cab Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things. What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. A series of killing of Muslim men in New Mexico has sent a wave of fear through Muslim communities across the United States, Al Jazeera's Patty Kalhan reports.
Naeem Hussein had attended the funerals of 2 Muslim men murdered in the last 2 weeks in Albuquerque, New Mexico on Friday. That night, police say he was ambushed. His family says his friends found him, shot to death in his car.
The friends that saw the body, they said it was a headshot, so I don't know if it was a single shot or if it was multiple shots.
Now police are investigating if the 3 murders are linked to the murder of another Muslim man, Muhammad Ahmadi, last November, and are asking the public to help find the driver of this car, which might be connected to the killings.
We are also increasing our air support. Now that we have information about a vehicle of interest, that kind of support is going to be crucial.
But in Albuquerque, the Muslim community has been shaken by the murders.
You walk out of your house not knowing if you're going to be followed and targeted. That is what is on the mind of every person leaving their home in Albuquerque that happens to be a Muslim. There is no sense of safety.
While police are not saying if the men are being targeted because of their faith, hate crimes against Muslims are increasing.
In a dozen of the largest jurisdictions, including California, New York City, Chicago, anti-Muslim hate crimes rose from 84 to 122, or a 45% increase. And these data are usually predictive of trends.
4 men from Afghanistan and Pakistan who emigrated to the U.S. gunned down in their chosen hometown. The latest, Naeem Hussein, received his citizenship just last month and was planning on bringing his wife in Pakistan to live here. The dream was to buy their own home. Patty Kalhan, Al Jazeera.
Internationally, the government of Bangladesh has ordered the media to avoid using the word indigenous during their coverage of the International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples. The government has been trying to censor the word for several years, insisting there are no such groups in the country. Al Jazeera's Tanveer Chowdhury reports.
Bangladesh is home to more than 54 indigenous peoples. They speak more than 35 languages and have distinct cultural identities. Yet they are referred to collectively as Adivashis. Chandra Dalbat teaches young people about their cultural heritage to ensure it is passed on to future generations.
Of course I consider myself as indigenous. Our ancestors, including my forefathers, have been living here for centuries, and through birthright, I am a native indigenous person.
Indigenous groups represent nearly 2% of the population of 168 million. Bangladesh to this day has not adopted the 2007 UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and the land rights of the indigenous communities in this country still remain one of the most contentious and unresolved issues. The UN Declaration obligates the government to restore ancestral land and protect minority groups from oppression and discrimination.
It is unfortunate that our state still refuses to recognize the identity of our people as indigenous for more than a decade now, which is wrong. If indigenous people are recognized as per the UN mandate, it could also serve the nation's interests by accepting the cultural and ethnic diversity of all concerned.
Some school textbooks have been published in indigenous languages, but most are gathering dust.
Even though some school books have been published in native languages, so far the government has not given us formal permission to teach those in schools.
In 2011, Bangladesh enacted a law that classifies non-Bengali tribes as ethnic minorities rather than as indigenous groups. Right groups and analysts think that formal recognition of indigenous peoples would mean the return of lands and protection of fundamental rights, which is why the government is reluctant to adopt the UN resolution. Al Jazeera had hoped to get some clarity from the information minister, however our request for an interview went unanswered. Tanvir Chaudhry, Al Jazeera, Madhupur, Bangladesh.
And finally, a day after China announced it was expanding its biggest military drills, Taiwan has carried out its own live-fire exercises to simulate defending the island against possible attack. Al Jazeera's Zain Bashrafi has more.
Beijing's One China policy could make conflict about the future of Taiwan inevitable. And this is what it might look like. On Tuesday, Taiwan began live-fire drills to showcase the self-proclaimed island nation's defensive power. Days after some of the largest military exercises China has ever conducted.
China has used the drills in its military playbook to prepare for the invasion of Taiwan. It is conducting large-scale military exercises and missile launches, as well as cyber attacks, disinformation campaign, and economic coercion in an attempt to weaken public morale in Taiwan.
Taipei says it won't be intimidated even as China breaches the unofficial median line down the Taiwan Strait.
We need to counter the blockade imposed by the Chinese military on us. And today's exercise is to let China know that we are prepared. I hope both sides can exercise restraint. Fighting a war is not good for the ordinary people.
Top officials from both sides are at odds. We are just ordinary people and there's nothing we can do. If anything happens in the future, we can't do anything either.
The latest flexing of muscles follows U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taipei, a show of support for Taiwanese independence that China says directly contravenes Beijing's historical claim to the island. The U.S. position, China is using the diplomatic visit to pick a fight.
Clearly, the PRC is trying to coerce Taiwan. Clearly, they're trying to coerce the international community. And all I'll say is we're not going to take the bait, and it's not going to work. So it's a manufactured crisis. That doesn't mean we have to play into that. I think it would only play to Beijing's advantage. What we'll do instead is to continue to fly, to sail, and to operate wherever international law allows us to do so, and that includes in the Taiwan Strait. And we will continue to stand by our allies and partners in the region.
The war games have disrupted shipping and air traffic in a region crucial to global trade. More worrying, perhaps, Beijing and Taipei are turning up the heat on another brewing global conflict. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. closes off this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.